Politics, commentary, entertainment, sports, news, and opinion now. Here is Steve Malzberg.
I think Mitt Romney, in his head, he looks at these polls that show him beating the president right now. If there were another election, there won't be, that he really wants to run for president again. What do you think? What would you advise him?
I think he actually is going to run for president. He probably doesn't want me to say that. 100 times he says he's not. But Mitt Romney has always accomplished what he set out to do. I think he's proven right on a lot of stuff. I happen to be in the camp that thinks that he's actually going to run, and I think he will be the next president of the United States.
All right, folks, there you go. Welcome to the road to the White House. Our installment today surrounds, guess who? Yeah, you should be able to guess based on that video from Congressman Jason Chaffetz that it's a possible Mitt Romney rerun, if you will, running for the presidential nomination from the Republican side. Will he run? Well, there you heard Jason Chaffetz say he thinks that despite denials by Romney, he will. Now, let's listen to one of those denials from Governor Romney, and then we'll be joined by our guest. All right, you'll have to take my word for it, ladies and gentlemen. Mitt Romney has denied it over and over and over again. And joining us now is Ryan Williams, Senior Vice President of FP1 Strategies and former spokesman for Governor Mitt Romney. Hello, Ryan.
Hi, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Well, my pleasure. Thanks for doing this. Okay, so, we've heard over and over from Governor Romney that he's not going to run. If I'm characterizing it correctly, if it's, and I think he's above what I, refer to as Clinton speak, that you have to parse the words and see exactly what he's saying. He impressed me as someone who, has done it and been there and put his family through it and really is not going to run anymore. Am I accurate in my assessment or not?
No, I think you're totally correct. He's saying not run.
All right. The problem is I'm not hearing Ryan Williams, so I don't know. We're having some technical difficulties, folks, with a whole bunch of things. Let's try to see if I could hear Ryan right now. No? Okay, we can't. All right. So okay, we do. All right, Ryan, I'm sorry. We had some technical difficulties, and thanks for bearing with us. So you believe that my assessment is correct, that he's not planning on running and will, in fact, not run. Is that correct?
That's correct. Governor Romney's been very clear that he is not planning on making a third run for president. He's done it twice before. He's put his family through this process. There are a number of people who really want to run again because many of the things he said during the 2012 election, many of the warnings about Russia and Mali and about the rise of the caliphate have all come true. But he has been very clear that he does not want to run again because he Republican leaders to pick up that bill.
Now, it's got to be encouraging for him, though, when he sees the poll that was out the other day, that if the election, and I think this is the second such poll, that if the election were held today, more people would vote, held again today, more people would vote for Mitt Romney than for Barack Obama in another matchup. So that's got to give, I can understand how that would give someone like the governor a kind of a nudge, or kind of put the bug in him, if it's not already in him, to say, I could do this if I try again.
Well, I think there's no question that if Governor Romney ran again, he'd be a strong candidate. He just doesn't want to do it. Obviously, there are a number of people who are having buyer's remorse after the way the second-term Obama administration has turned out, an utter failure on health care, unable to manage foreign affairs, unable to control scandals at the IRS and elsewhere. So there's a lot of buyer's remorse. It's good to see, obviously, that people realize that what Governor Romney said, 2012, much of it came true, even though he was mocked by Democrats when he warned about Putin's antics in Russia and other things. So it's good to see that, but Governor Romney just has made it very clear he does not want to seek a third run at the presidency.
Now, I think if he were the candidate, I think he would have an excellent chance against Hillary or whoever, Elizabeth Warren or Governor O'Malley, whoever the heck they put up on the left. But let's talk about seeking, and again, for argument's sake here, I'm pretty sure he's not going to run. Also, you know better than me, and you seem to agree. But let's just say if he chose to seek the Republican nomination, obviously it's not a coronation, and he would have to go through the whole process again. Would the Republican voters be willing to give him another someone else?
Well, I mean, obviously, you'd have to see how that race would shape up. But Governor Romney would be a very strong candidate if he did seek the nomination again, which I don't think he will. He's obviously very well known. People like him. His numbers, favorability numbers, are very good. The donor community likes him. But I really think, he's been clear that that's just not something he wants to do. There are a number of very qualified people who are actively in the 2016 campaign. People like Marco Rubio, Governor Christie, Rand Paul, Paul Ryan, and others. And he wouldn't want to get in a situation where he was competing with them because he feels that he's done this twice, he's had his chance, didn't work out, and it's just time for him to do something else in life and move on.
Do you think that that the next Republican candidate or nominee will have learned anything from some of the failures in the Romney campaign? Or some of the things that learned from some of the things that the Romney campaign had to deal with, for instance, the media coverage. You recall, I'm sure, better than I, everything he said was a gaffe. It was a campaign of gaffes. He was in Ireland, if my memory serves me correct, and somebody actually shouted out, "Governor, what do you think about the latest gaffe?" I mean, it was just pathetic, but that's the way it was. Should he have fought back against the media more vehemently? Should he have taken a little bit of what Newt Gingrich offered in some of the primary debates where he went after some of the reporters for their foolish questions? And will the next candidate learn from what Romney maybe didn't do?
Well, hindsight's certainly 2020, and we would have wished we did things differently. Obviously, we didn't win the election. Each campaign is going to be different. The atmosphere in which a candidate runs for president now can best be compared to a freak show. Constant Twitter, constant attacks from all sides, and just a white-hot light being shined on anybody who seeks the presidency. So it's a very strange process. Obviously we would have done differently, but I hope that some of these candidates can learn from some of our mistakes and successes. But that being said, there really is no experience like going through it. Governor Romney was a wiser candidate the second time around than the first time, having gone through the process before. And really none of these candidates this time around, save for perhaps Rick Perry, have been through the rigors of a presidential contest. So hopefully they can learn from it, but it really is an experience that you have to go through to understand how really trying it is and how much of just a terrible process it is to become our president.
If he were to run again fictitiously, and that's the purpose of this segment, the 47% comment, the wealth issue, the Democrats since that last campaign have really driven home, the income disparity and women making less, and these fictitious arguments and really issues that are just designed to be demagogued, and they demagogue them so well. Would this be something that the governor would have to face again, or something that he could somehow easily more or less overcome this time around?
I'm sure they would try to recycle the same tired playbook, but I think people have seen since the election that Governor Romney he's a good person. That movie that came out really showed him as the kind of person he really is, the documentary, not the caricature the Democrats painted. And it will be very hard for Democrats this time because their standard bearer is likely going to be Hillary Clinton, who is crying poverty over having to pay 2 mortgages on multi-million-dollar mansions, claiming that she was dead broke when she had $10 million book deals lined up. She is the epitome of elitism and being out of touch. He's been driven around by Secret Service agents for 30 years now. So it will be very difficult with Hillary Clinton at the top of the ticket for Democrats to wage the typical class warfare campaigns they do, given that she is such an elitist, 1%er, if you will.
And one final question for you. If he does not run and you believe he will at least seek to play an active role, if wanted, in campaigning for whoever the nominee might be?
Absolutely. Governor Romney's been very active in the 2014 process for Senate congressional races. He's made 33 endorsements. All of those candidates have won their primaries, and he's, I think, looking to be a part of the process and to help good conservative candidates get elected.
All right, Ryan, pleasure to talk to you, sir. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Thanks for putting up with us, and appreciate it. We'll speak to you again, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Ryan Williams, ladies and gentlemen, Senior Vice President of FP1 Strategies and former spokesman for Governor Mitt Romney. And it will be very interesting. It's got to be hard. You know, you think you could win, and the bitter, don't forget the bitter disappointment. Don't forget the tears in that room that night in the suite. I mean, they thought they were going to win. They were told they were going to win. And it still boggles my mind that the turnout was so great in the areas that were needed for Barack Obama to emerge victorious. I didn't think it could be matched what he did the first time around, and somehow, miraculously, it was. All right, we shall see. Tomorrow, yet another installment of The Road to the White House. Same time right here on the Steve Malzberg Show. Give Me 5 is next.